Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another indie show review. My name is of course Dan DP Dupreezy, and I've gone back to the lovely world of Barrie Wrestling for another of these reviews. This time I'm looking at the May show from May 11th, Here Come the Wolves. But of course, you'll know me by now. I've done one of these shows by myself and that didn't go too well. So, I have, put my hand in, got a little lucky dip going, see what the Barrie Wrestling Universe pulls back and gives me. And
me.
Look who's here.
They gave you me. They gave you me. They gave you the Barn-Burnin Van Landon. Van Landon. It's me, the Barn-Burner, is back reviewing Here Comes the Wolves. Barrie Wrestling. I'm so thrilled to be back. I love it here. What's up, YouTube? Leave a comment. Let me know. Do you like me doing these shows? Do you want me back for more? Let us know.
We'll absolutely have Van back for more if you want to see more of Van and if Van wants to be back. But of course, this is for May 11th, Here Come the Wolves, which is the show following the Fallout tournament. That was in April. This, of course, has the main event of the finals of said Fallout tournament, which we'll get into at the end. So how much... so, not to spoil anything going forward, but how much of the show have you seen? Is it the entire thing, or...?
Seen parts of it. So, if anyone hasn't, go check out the show on IWTV. You can watch it all. You can see what Van Landon got himself up to on this show. We're going to talk about it. But I had a little bit of a hidden agenda at that show. I was doing a little bit of recon work, if you will. So, while I got to see a lot of it, I also missed a lot of it, being that I was being there while not being seen there. It was a tough little balance, but... hey, I made it work.
You did, because I did not notice you at all. But, so I initially was meant to be, so a peek behind the curtain, if you will. I was initially meant to be doing this with Tyler, TCO, from Cut It Out.
TCO, what the heck? Tyler.
So my first note was Mike Jeffries making a comment on commentary saying that TCO was the man who puts the wolf in Wolfpack.
I think he might have a dog named Wolf. I think that might be why Mike Jeffries made that comment. I think TCO might have a dog named Wolf. Either that or I have too many concussions. It's one or the other on that.
That's fair enough. But we'll kick off things in the gear and we will go to the first match of the night, which was a tag match as top-tier talents John Atlas and Julian Ward took on the debuting team in Barrie Wrestling, Fresh Air, which was Junior Benito and the hot stepper McCray Martin.
And I want to make mention of this. Fresh Air individually have been in Barrie. McCray Martin, hot stepper, he's done some stuff. Junior's done a bunch of great stuff. But the tandem of Fresh Air... they've been making waves all over North America, doing stuff and beyond, just across the border down south in the States, doing tons of great stuff in the Ottawa region. Awesome stuff from those guys. And we're lucky. I did get to see a lot of this one. I know that this match absolutely tore it up. And what more can you want from an opening match than high octane, and I'm stealing from myself here, high energy, fun, flashy tag moves, and it only helps because McCray Martin and Junior Benito are two of the coolest guys ever. So easy to get behind. The fans love them, and top tier talent sucks. So easy one, easy one.
Absolutely, and also I am an advocate for wrestling themes. And having a theme that makes you, feel a certain way. Makes you want to groove or makes you want to shout. Like, over in mainstream wrestling, Cody Rhodes, your whoa, and You know, you've got your Rhea Ripley with Altered Edge. You got all kinds of like good things in pro wrestling, and the best wrestlers have the best theme songs. That's how it works.
It's true. It's true.
But of course, as you said, Fresh Air come out to. You hadn't guessed already. You know. I can't remember the name of the song.
I know Hot Stepper comes out to Here Comes the Hot Stepper. But I don't know what their duos was.
I don't remember
because they were the first ones out and it was the very beginning of the show.
Well, they came out
Fresh
to a very
Air, what's
good
your
theme.
music?
It's a very good theme.
I'm now so curious.
I should know it. I didn't make a note of it though.
Did Atlas and Top Tier Talent, did they come out to just the John Atlas music instead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the
exactly.
standard. Yeah,
exactly. They don't even have a group theme song. What are they doing?
I don't know. But so this is your first time on one of the. Oh no, it's not actually. That's a lie. This is your second review with us.
Second.
Because you reviewed back on It's a Festival Life, which was back in.
We did.
October or November, I think it was. Was it December?
WrestleFul Life was the December show, I believe.
Oh yeah, it must be because of the It's a Wonderful Life reference. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the December one, and I believe that's where Von Vertigo won the Three Pistols title over me because of Myung Jae Lee.
Yeah.
And I have to mention that because it wasn't my fault, so.
Yeah, well, that's valid. It's valid. But yeah, so we go through the match a little bit. So the match kicks off with a bit of fun. Some hip shaking, some groove funking. Julian Ward's more into it than John Atlas, which is, it's fair enough, I guess. John Atlas is no nonsense. He wants none of this, none of these shenanigans, as it were. Like, it's very much a fun opening though, and as things get on a bit, they get a bit more serious, and Dr. Talent, get control of the match. They separate Benito from Martin, and they keep working on him until McRae gets the tag and reminds Benito what to think about his favourite food. Which, of course, leads to him hitting the sliced bread. And, of course, if you know Fresh Air, you're familiar with the moveset. They maintain a faster, a more fluid form of wrestling as they take back control. And eventually, they clear Atlas out with a hard strike. And then they're able to hit their finisher, the Air Freshener, which is an electric chair drop 3D cutter combination type move for the 3 count.
Awesome. That's what we love to see. Fresh Air come in, make quick work of the veteran Top Tier Talent team. Hey, veteran of what? Losing? That's exactly what I like to see. Fresh Air are my boys. Van Landon and his team Fresh Air all day. If they ever needed somebody to have their back in Barrie, hey, call up Van Landon because I got them. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm. So after that, of course, we go to the next bit, which was Jim Lowe, who's in the ring. And, he's not normally in the ring. He's normally, at the commentary booth doing the job as commentator. But this is something special. And this is why he's here. It is time for an official Barrie Wrestling Hall of Fame induction. You might have to fill in a little bit here, because I'm not too familiar with the history. But it's to celebrate the induction of the Flatliners, Matt Burns and Asylum.
Yes. So the Flatliners are a true veteran tag team. I made jokes there about what Top Tier was a veteran of, but the Flatliners are true veterans when it comes to Barrie Wrestling. Absolute legends. There from day one. Spent a long tenure there, winning the tag titles, all kinds of things, having a fantastic rivalries with other sort of veteran teams like the Dirty Vets, Uncle Custom, and Notorious TID. All kinds of stuff. And just a little Van Landon personal story. The very first time I did anything at all in wrestling was a Flatliners seminar in Barrie, which would have been even sooner than like my wrestling training and all that. Probably early 2016. They offered that. My first training was with Asylum and Matt Burns. They taught me, here's how to bump. Here's a headlock. This is what running the ropes is like. If you guys are crazy enough to like this, come back to the next one. So I've actually gotten a hand at being trained by these two guys, and they definitely know all their stuff. So for them to be a, first ballot Hall of Fame induction into Barrie Wrestling, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
Fantastic. But yeah, this is the first time that we've seen Asylum since I think it was 2018, something like that, when he lost.
It's a long time. Yeah, it's been a long time since Asylum's been there. I think 2018 might be. Yeah, I think you might be right about that year.
But this is his first appearance since then. Of course, though, the moment doesn't last long because they're interrupted by Australian Takeover. It's Kaz Jordan.
Oh boy,
Kaz Jordan, who I believe might be injured, which is why he's not wrestling at the moment. But he's here, of course, with the Clydesdale, Clyde Kane. They both chat a lot of SHIT at both Matt Burns and Asylum, which, of course, if you know pro wrestling, you know what's coming. It's a match.
Oh, yeah. If your answer was fight, you're wrong because it's a match. They broke it down, and you're thinking, how did they're there for an induction ceremony? They're not there to wrestle. Well, I think Matt Burns proved us all wrong for that one. He's always ready to wrestle, eh?
He's always in his gear.
Yeah, I think most wrestlers are. I really need to start wearing my boots instead of regular shoes, and then I would be there as well. But Clyde Kane, who is an absolute muscle monster, reminds me of a WCW 2000 Scott Steiner Big Papa Pump at Clydesdale. His muscles are just absolutely popping at all times. But wasn't enough, eh? Wasn't enough. Yeah, sometimes it's the skill and the experience factor that'll edge out your size and your strength.
Precisely. But we do get a small stipulation to this as well, added to the match. So Matt Burns and Clyde Kane in the singles match, with the stipulation that if Matt Burns wins, the in-ring ban on Asylum will be lifted.
Which is huge. That's so huge. You don't see a lot of, wrongs be righted like that. If that's even proper English, I definitely just made that up. But yeah, to have Asylum back, and you heard the fans wanted it. The fans wanted it. They want the Flatliners back. And sometimes people go into the Hall of Fame, and that's their retirement, so to speak. That's their career. They hang up the boots. They go into the Hall of Fame. We saw firsthand with Matt Burns. They hand him that plaque, and his boots were still on. He wasn't done. And they announced the stipulation. Potentially, okay, we could have Asylum back in Barrie Wrestling. And, let the match speak for itself.
So, the match is quite short, but Matt Burns does pick up the win with a TKO and the crossface combination for the submission victory over Clyde Kane. And rightfully so, commentary lose their minds, the crowd lose their collective minds, as the Flatliners are allowed once again to wrestle as a team in Barrie Wrestling.
Oh yeah, if you're the royal family, I'd be shaking in my boots holding on to those tag team titles, knowing that the Flatliners are allowed officially to be back and running business. Heck, even I'm afraid. Stay away from me, you guys.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a good impromptu match, and both brought it. It was a short match, but expected. You know, like these two put on a short match, but it was enjoyable. And the ultimate thing is the Flatliners are back, and they can officially wrestle again in the world of Barrie Wrestling.
Yes, which is so awesome. Welcome back, Flatliners.
Absolutely. So now we move on to the next match of the night, which was between the Standard, Matthew Grant, taking on Alexia Nicole.
Yes.
So, I don't know much about Matthew Grant. If you do, I don't know.
I do, luckily. I do.
Yes.
Matthew Grant, who is one of 4 members currently of Ontario's most decorated faction called Empire. And I don't need to get into the other 3 members, but just know their hand gesture is this. It's an E for Empire. And so, when Matthew Grant comes up to Barrie Wrestling, he is looking for a fight. And I don't expect anything less from him. He's had a lot of monikers over his career. One that used to be there, not so much anymore, but I do love it, was he was once the undeniable underdog. And his sheer size really plays a factor. I mean, he was face-to-face with Alexia, who's one of the shortest females on the roster. So, Matt Grant has always been a size of the fight in the dog type competitor.
Yes.
And so he shows up looking for a fight in Barrie. But unfortunately for Matt Grant, his wishes were answered in the form of 3 pile drivers onto your neck. I don't know if he's medically okay at this point, but all I know is Alexia Nicole destroyed Matt Grant.
Yeah. Alexia Nicole went out there and, you know, beat up Matthew like Matthew owed her money. Like
Yes, that's right. 3 pile drivers. He was trying to kill him in the FLCC. Oh.
But yeah, as you said, 3 pile drivers ends it. Alexa gets the win. Matthew Grant is sent packing. This was a very good match, and I'm not surprised. You know, like I'm not familiar with Matthew Grant, so I can't judge him really, other than what I've seen in this match alone. Alexia Nicole, outstanding wrestler, as we already said in that preview that will be out before this video goes out. Like Alexia's amazing, and she's among probably my top 10 in as Canadian wrestlers.
Definitely.
And that's like all time, by the way.
Definitely up there for others.
Yeah, like all time, not like just currently active ones. Like,
let's go. That's you're not wrong. She is an absolute special, one of a kind talent. And I mentioned this about Mark Wheeler, today, but on a different video. How isn't she signed? Yeah. That's what I want to know.
Absolutely.
Best wishes to Alexia, though.
Absolutely. And, get well soon and let your recovery go as smoothly as possible.
Yes.
So we move on from that to the next part of the show, which was the... This was something. The State of the Royal Family Address by Shiloh.
Oh, boy. I'll let you handle this one, because I will just get too fired up. Yeah, there's too much going on in this, so...
There was a lot going on. So they come out, of course. You've got Grizzly, who is the loyal... Loyal grunt to Shiloh.
Pretty much, yeah.
You've got Musso.
A grunt's a good way to put that.
You've got Musso, who is seemingly on the fence now, but he's still with the royal family, but they don't agree with his methods now, which is It's an interesting dynamic.
It is. It's weird. It's a weird dynamic. What's going on with Musso? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, he sang at their wedding, and I feel like since
sang
then,
at their wedding.
Since then, it's gone downhill for him.
It's oh boy, it's been a ride for Musso. That's for sure. All Out tournament, of course.
Yeah.
He's had quite the ride.
Of course, you got Carl Boone, who is the self-proclaimed king of Barrie Wrestling, and the partner to Shiloh, who is partner in more ways than one. And finally, you've got Pretty Ricky Wilde, who is the unwilling, hesitant member of the group, who of course joined when he and Puff lost the tag match back in December.
I feel so bad for Ricky. Like, I can't really feel what it is that he's going through, because I've never been forcefully placed into a group of faction, a small number of people that I've disliked, like he has. I don't understand. I feel so bad for him. Oh my goodness.
It's like
poor Ricky.
Like the Raw family are very unique in that none of them are likable.
No.
It's like it's like all the famous factions throughout the years have had at least one or two people in them that have like, you know what, I can see things from their point of view. With the Royal family, you've got Shiloh, you've got Kyle, you've got Grizzly who says nothing anyway, and you've got Musso.
It's so freaking strange, this dynamic. Like, I always say, like, and this is beyond wrestling, like, okay, like, you judge somebody by their character, like, could you go to the bar with them? Could you have a pint with them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're right. Shiloh? Never. Kyle? Maybe, but you wouldn't enjoy it. Grizz? Only if he's buying, but it probably wouldn't be fun. And Musso, what's he gonna do? Start singing everywhere? I don't understand this evil entity that has just been running roughshod over Barrie. I am so grateful to say my hands are clean with the royal family. They have yet to take any issue with me. Hopefully they're not watching this, because if they are, they're gonna have some issues with me. But I mean, hey guys, you got Ricky. Deal with Ricky. Let Ricky go. Actually, if I could say my piece, let Ricky go, and then maybe who knows?
Just I'll just throw this out into the universe, and
okay,
it might not stick. It might stick. I don't know. Would you be willing, if they offered it, to let Ricky go and leave the royal family, but you've got to take his place?
Would I take a bullet for Ricky, is what you're asking me, essentially?
Essentially, yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
Oh man.
You can abstain,
Ricky,
if you don't want to answer.
Ricky, as much as I love ya, buddy, you're stuck there. I can't sacrifice my own mental well-being. I've worked so hard to get it here that I can't force myself into that just to free you. Come on. I will help you try to get freed, but I'm not diving onto that grenade.
So we get to the actual address of the royal family, which was the first matter of business, of course, all being presented by Shiloh and by herself, to address the elephant in the room, and that things went off the rails in Shiloh's absence because she was on a bender, a 3-day drinking bender, I believe it was, and which is insane in itself, but She first turns her attention to Anthony Musso, who pinned a close personal friend of the royal family. That, of course, being Clay Wilson, who is in the finals now of the Fallout tournament. Because, for those who don't know, that an agreement was made between the royal family and top-tier talent, or probably just Clay Wilson, to be fair, that Musso would lie down and Clay would pin him and Musso would go to the final. Instead, Musso had a shift in judgment, and to be fair, Clay was shouting in his face and berating him in his face. Like,
he always. That's just Clay. Like, Clay talks to a McDonald's waiter. Like, oh, hi, what's your order? Let me tell you what my order is! That's just who Clay Wilson is. Spoilers to the end, but we'll get there, so, yeah.
He's just I don't suck.
Yeah. Yes, you do, Clay. Yeah, you do. That's why the fans chanting at ya.
She turns to Musso and says that to him. And that Musso now owes the royal family $10,000. So he's now indebted to the royal family. And then she orders Grizzly Mac to slap Musso, which he does like with no hesitation. He just
yeah, but there's that grunt-like mentality from Grizzly Mac off that slap. Very grunt-like.
Just no questions asked, I'll do what you say.
No, yeah, just, okay. Makes sense. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Was that Joel the Mountain? Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, see you at the bottom. Yeah.
Shiloh then turns her attention to Grizzly, who, according to her, has taken matters into his own hands. Because in her absence, he made the switch because of Musso's actions. Grizzly got pinned, and then Grizzly said, basically, I'm not doing this anymore. You're now in my shoes.
Grizzly got pinned by me because him and Musso were screwing around way too much in the Fallout tournament. I ended up having to fight off both those guys at one point during that match. And guess what? You still couldn't get the job done. So, sorry, Grizz. Sorry, Grizzly Mac.
But yes, so Grizzly essentially then says, you know what? You're the reason why I lost. So you're fighting now, not me. So this is now you in tournament, not me.
Yeah, exactly. Which, oh my god, those
I mean, I get why management didn't say anything because it's Grizzly Mac. He's quite a big dude. I
mean, hey, if I could have just lost a match and then pawned off my position to somebody else, like, hey, that would have been good to know. Yeah, come on, Grizz. What are you guys doing? I guess it's Royal Family Freebird rules, I guess. Shout out Fabulous Freebirds, but who knows?
So Carl Boo could have been just, thrown in there.
There you go. If Shiloh was able to stumble her way in the door during that bender, she could have even got in there.
Yeah, precisely. And so basically, because of Grizzly doing things for himself, he's also in debt to the royal family. And then she orders Musso to slap Grizzly, which Musso happily does it because he was slapped by Grizzly, so it's easy comeuppance.
It's called a receipt.
Oh, this is a mess. Shiloh then finally turns to the actual elephant in the room, which is Pretty Ricky. And she's annoyed that he called himself pretty when he's next to two of the most beautiful people in the ring. Which, of course, commentary confuse it and they think she means Mike and Jim. Because obviously she means that, right?
Oh yeah.
So there's some confusion as to who Shiloh meant by that comment. But regardless of that, Shiloh declares that from now on, Pretty Ricky will no longer be going by the name Ricky and Pretty, and be going by his government-issued name, Richard. And I don't know if across the pond that you guys are familiar with a nickname for Richard.
Richard. Yeah. like old Dick Tracy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Old Richard Tracy. I know. I don't know if Shiloh knows that. I know that. I don't know if Shiloh knows that. On record, I don't know if Shiloh knows that. But close personal friend, ring announcer, Tyler counted out, TCO. He mentioned that having to address Ricky in the ring announcer duties as Richard was pretty heartbreaking for him.
Yeah.
It was not something he took pride in doing. The fans didn't like it. No one likes it. They're literally just ruining this guy's life. They've stripped him of his identity now.
But to be fair to Richard, he is taking it in his stride, and he's doing the best he can with it. Because Shiloh orders Grizzly and Musso to both slap Richard, to which Grizzly complies, and Musso goes to, but then Richard catches the slap and then slaps Grizzly, and then he runs away.
Chaos. That's yeah. That's why I had you take the lead on this one. Yeah.
And then finally, Shiloh does something unexpected, and she turns to Carl Boone, who has, according to her, been slacking. Been slipping. Not been training. So, with that in mind, she says that until Kyle can win a match without any help, he'll be by himself. And matches, there'll be no help from the Raw family for him.
Ooh.
So, that is very interesting.
That is.
Because that leads into the death match of the night, which was the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contendership for the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight title. We had Carl Boone, who's now by himself. We had the Golden Gun, Mark Wheeler. We had El Diablo, Gabriel Fuerza. And we had, former friend of yours, Myung Jae Lee.
Nut kicker, Myung Jae Lee, as I have been unfortunately on the receiving end of. Don't like him one bit. If you would ask me my predictions on that match going into it, I thought for sure, Mark Wheeler, possibly even Gabriel Fuerza could have edged out one another for that.
Yep.
But it doesn't surprise me that after a little bit of tomfoolery, that weasel Myung Jae Lee edged that one out. So, yeah.
And honestly, this could have gone any way, this match. This was, on paper, there was no clear advantage for anyone. And even though you could say Wheeler has an experience advantage, Myung Jae Lee has, technical advantage, Fuerza has agility advantage, whatever. Kyle has, conniving advantage. Like,
yeah, evil advantage. Yeah.
Like, this is no DQ, so anything can happen, anything goes.
And those go.
And this match is absolute chaos. Like, I couldn't even begin to cover what happened in this match. Like, the only way to see what happened is to go watch it on IWTV.
You will be amazed at what you see in that ring.
The chaos is so much that even commentators mess up calling some of the names.
Come on, Mike!
I like how you just knew it was Mike and not Jim.
Jim's color, Mike's play-by-play. So if it's smooth names, I know it's Mike.
Fair enough. But as you say...
I give Mike a sheet of names this long every show. Say, here's my move names. Be sure not to mess them up.
Ah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
So, as you said, Myung Jae Lee does pick up the win when he low blows Gabriel Fuerza and rolls him up for the 3. Both Carl Boone and Mark Wheeler do try to pick it up, but they don't get there in time. So Myung Jae Lee is your number one contender.
And he's got a mountain of a man to defeat in SCV. Currently, as of the time of the recording,
spoilers.
at the time of that match recording was still that champion. So
yes,
hey, you win that #1 contendership match. That's the can of worms you're in theory opening. So
yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I'm saying spoilers is because at the time that the match happened, there was no guarantee of who Moon Jae-Lee would be facing.
No, not at all.
So, we move on to the next match, which for the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, we have champion Jesse V taking on challenger and potentially signing his own death warrant, Rajan Husher.
Oh boy, Hush baby, you and me got so much history, and I guess it's only fair. I can't sit here and say you didn't deserve that title shot, because I also have had a lot of title shots for that Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight title that I didn't win any #1 contendership matches to necessarily earn. So I know there's a lot of sort of open challenges, a lot of just big fight feels, and so Husher getting that opportunity, I can't take it away from him. However, I can keep my close eye on it. I'll let you get to talking about it.
So, the match begins with Rajan trying to hit a painting over Jesse V on the outside. Doesn't really work. Because, you know, Jesse's made of marble.
Yeah, accurate.
So again, you know, no avail. But to Rajan's credit, as the match continues, he does manage to fend for himself and hits various maneuvers that do focus on specific body parts of Jesse V to weaken him and take him down. Unfortunately, it is Jesse V. So,
yeah,
you know, on any other person, you know, his strategy might work. You know, take out the legs, take out the arms, you know, weaken someone down to the point where you can hit your finisher and win. Again, it's Jesse V.
Yeah.
So Jesse V seems like he's toying with him, to be honest. Even though he's getting hit by moves, he's still kicking out at one, and he's like kicking out and throwing Rajan into the air as he does it.
That's an impressive kick out.
It really, like, it's like you get hit by like 10 moves and you're still just launching them into the air to kick out.
Yeah. Speechless. Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, the ref is distracted by a large painting of Rajan, and he brings out a smaller painting that he goes to hit Jesse over the head with, and Jesse just punches through the painting.
Straight through it,
and he proceeds to hit Rajan with a Death Valley driver into the corner, into the other painting. And then he finishes it off with the clutch and go powerbomb. This was ridiculous in all the best ways.
I mean, credit, even though I don't want to give him any, credit where credit's due. Usher did everything he could to try to win that match. But like you said, it was up against the man made of marble, Jesse V.
Absolutely. And then post-match...
What happens in the post-match?
Someone just jumped the barrier and they've attacked Rajan Husher.
What? Say, security? We have a fan? No, it's not a fan. It's Van. You just heard me wrong. It's Van Landon.
Of course.
Hey guys, I'm here. Don't forget about me. So I mentioned I had a bit of a recon mission in place. So I knew Von Vertigo wasn't going to be here. And I knew that they were going to set us up, finally, for our match. Luckily, management got to me. They let me know what was happening. So, what better way to make a statement without having to go out there and necessarily win a match? What better way to make a statement than to take out his right-hand man in Rajan Husher? I hop over that barricade, those flimsy barricades. I hop right over it, clean as a whistle, slide right into the ring. Hook him up for the good old-fashioned motorplex, dropping him on the back of his neck at a high angle, standing up, posing over him like the wimp that he is, stomping his painting out, grabbing the microphone from my good personal friend Tyler, TCO, and saying Von Vertigo on June 8th, that Three Pistols title is mine. Because that's how I was feeling that day. I sent away his boy. You know, he won't be ringside on June 8th. No outside interference. So I just wanted to put a little exclamation point to the fact that I'm coming for you, Vertigo.
Mm-hmm. Very well said. And it brings to a question I was going to ask you on the other one that we did. But you mentioned before about having the goons and having...
Goons!
Having grunts or having followers or however you want to word it.
Yes.
If in the precaution that Rajan does somehow get involved in this match, say the ref is taken out, because it can happen, the ref goes down, Rajan comes out, etc. Right? Who would you bring in to counteract Vision? Do you have anyone in mind, or is it just Van Landon?
I'm gonna say a name here, but it's not a name that counts technically. A former Barrie Wrestling wrestler who you might have seen some of the shows that he did with us. Holden Albright was a great friend of mine, especially in the Barrie locker room. He has decided that he is on a retirement-like hiatus for the next little while with no expectations to return. Mm-hmm. In a perfect world, my answer for you would say, yeah, Albright will be in the back. He has my back. If anything goes wild, he'll come out. He can make the save. We should be fine and dandy. But he's half retired. He won't be there. And it's been tough for me, seriously, because I haven't had really any close friends in the locker room. I have some acquaintances, like, Fresh Air shows up. It's nice to see them. Are they going to be there next month, though? Probably not. And so it's tough, when all these factions are forming and so many people have so many, extra attackers in their playbook, that it has been tough for Van Landon, really trying to game plan solo. Mm-hmm. That's the only way to put it. And trust me, where that scenario of shenanigans transpiring and a referee not being there to make the right calls, it's all worrying, but it's all stuff that I still have one more week. I'm trying to strategize around it. I'm going to try to make a plan. Mm-hmm. And if it does come down, I don't think anybody's going to come out to help me. As of now, it would have been Holden Albright. I don't think anybody else has my back the way that he did back then. So It sucks, and it's sad to say that, yeah, I'm a loner and I don't have anybody who has my back. But at the same time, the fans have my back.
Yeah.
And while the fans aren't going to jump into the ring and fight, sometimes it just takes me looking at them and seeing their faces to drive my spirit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we move on to the tag team title match. So the Barrie Wrestling 400 North tag team titles on the line. We have a team of KPK, Ahmed and Abu, taking on champions The Royal Family, Grizzly Mac and Anthony Musso, accompanied by Shiloh.
Yep, more Royal Family. That's what this one is. And KPK, those guys came out and they impressed the heck out of me. I haven't seen much of them as a duo, but I mean, they colored me impressed. I thought they did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they didn't get the results they were looking for. And Royal Family does what Royal Family does, so...
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer on the situation, but we got the new dynamic of Musso and Grizzly, as Musso has seen some kind of light, but he still wants to help and support the royal family for whatever reasons. I guess because they're the only friends he's had.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
But he has support of the fans now, or some support of the fans, I guess. KPK have early control of the match as they work over Musso. Grizzly comes in, and of course, Grizzly being the mountain of man he is, takes back control for the team. Later on down the line, though, Grizzly accidentally takes out Musso with a big boot that allows KPK to take control again with a couple of 2 counts. Grizzly takes out Ahmed with a corner splash. Abu takes out Grizzly with a super kick. And then, however, a sneakily legal Musso comes in and rolls up Abu for the 3 count. So, Musso is showing his worth. Like...
You can't deny that. He's getting victories, I suppose. Yeah. It's just, Musso, where do your intentions lie?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange.
Because you'd think at one point, if he was done with them, he would just, pack up and leave.
You would think if he truly was done with them, you wonder, like, what his long-term may be, sticking around, this long in a scenario like this.
Yeah. It's very, very peculiar situation right now, the way it stands.
I was going to say Musso's a strange guy, but then again, Grizzly Mac's a strange guy, Kyle Boone's a strange guy, and Shiloh is a strange woman, so that whole group is strange. I can't just single out Musso for being strange.
Mm-hmm. And of course there's also Ricky, who is the wonderful kind of strange.
Yes, and then there's Richard, who I love.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Of course, though, Musso shakes hands with KPK to the dismay of Shiloh and Grizzly. Shiloh is screaming to not do it. Like on the video on IWTV, you can't hear Shiloh, but you can when you see her. It's like the thing you can't literally hear it, but you can hear it when you see her.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Of course, afterwards, Musso also goes around the fans, trying to tap hands with the crowd, front row. Shiloh again gets in the way and just stop doing this, stop it. At this point, it feels a bit like a mother trying to look after her children.
I mean, she's the responsible one out of those 4, so definitely. I definitely see where you're coming from with that. I mean, geez, she's definitely the brains of that operation.
Yeah. I mean, where those brains are entirely is not as as anyone's guess, but
just quit going on the benders. Save your brains, Shiloh. You're the brains for 4 people.
But yes, we move on now to the main event, which was, in my opinion, rightfully the main event, because, there's an argument to be made, the world title should be the main event. This is higher implication, higher situation than what the world title match was. So we had, of course, this is the Fallout Tournament Finals, where the loser will get fired from Barrie Wrestling. We have Clay Wilson taking on Richard Wilde, who, for those who don't know, is Pretty Ricky Wilde. Interestingly enough, at the start of the match, there's no members of Top Tier Talent, and there's no one there from the Royal Family. this is a legit 1v1 encounter. So to kick things off, the exchange roll-ups with 2 counts. The action spills to the outside, and Richard slingshots Clay so hard that it flipped a table upside down.
That's an impressive slingshot.
Like, I've never seen that. Like, to literally flip a table.
Yeah. That's new. Ouch. I guess is what I would say.
The innovators of violence, Barrie Wrestling.
Apparently, all of a sudden.
They fight on the chairs, like the literal seating chairs for the audience. There's a struggle back in the ring for Irish whips that sees Clay Wilson getting sent into Brad Myers, the ref, which takes Brad out for now. At this point, if you don't follow pro wrestling, you clearly, you know, if you follow pro wrestling, you know what's happening next. Brad's down. Who comes out? It's of course the royal family.
And you were expecting who? Yeah, of course the royal family are out here now.
So they come out and they surround Richard in the ring, making it blatantly clear what they're here to do. And sure enough, they start beating down on Richard to the point where he is taken out, and they do put Clay on top of Richard for the ref to then wake up and see the pin. This actually does get a 2.9 before Richard kicks out. After this, out comes Alexia Nicole and Fresh Air to clear out the royal family, and we're back to it being a 1v1 again.
Thank goodness.
And at this point, without spoiling it at this point, Clay hits a top tier DDT. Which for those who don't know, is the move he mainly uses to finish off matches. And, you know,
Yes, he does.
He hits the move, goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out. Another 2.9. Richard then hits a corner double stomp, followed by what I call a burning elbow lariat for the 3 count.
Yeah.
Richard Roddy, his job is safe. Clay Wilson, on the other hand, his job is not.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Clay
I mean,
Wilson
what an interesting concept of a tournament.
Absolutely.
The loser of the entire tournament gets fired,
Mm-hmm.
and it's bracket style inward so that the losers continue to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I can say this confidently. And these shows aren't on IWTV, but for the local crowd, they did get to witness the Canada Day Cup last 2023, so July 2023. The finals were myself versus Clay Wilson. The winner gets a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like a Money in the Bank. We're having our match. I'm winning, of course. Things are happening. Blah, blah, blah. I'm cruising my way to an opportunity. Clay rolls his ankle terribly. Stops it. Referee's over there. Referee's telling me he's hurt. Clay takes his whole boot off. I think, okay, the match is over, whatever. I won it, but he got hurt, so it's not a good time.
Yeah.
The whole audience wasn't, they thought he was hurt pretty severely with how things abruptly just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I reach out my hand, extend it to him to help him up, and he rolls me up for the 3 count, and he was fine the whole time, and his ankle was never hurt. So when you tell me that Clay Wilson, the guy that did that to me last year, is now fired, all I can say is good riddance. Like, I'm not mad that Clay was the one who got fired. I'm so thankful it wasn't me. I was a part of that tournament. But for it to be Clay, and especially it be Clay and not my friend Ricky, I mean, I'm happy to see the outcome in that way.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bit of an emotional moment because it's like, oh, this guy worked so hard and they're legit just gonna fire him. Like, he's gone now. Okay, like, I guess, but at the same time, then you remember, oh wait, we don't like Clay at all, and Clay is a horrible individual.
Yeah. I think as well, like, it's definitely a sigh of relief for the current champions in Barrie Wrestling, because he held he held the cup, the Capivest Cup, and
yeah,
I've been told that because he's been fired, that now is no longer a thing. There's no holder now for that cup.
You can't, like, and there you go too, Clay. I mean, I guess you didn't know you were about to get fired. You know, fast forward a half a year, but. I mean, yeah, you needed a cheat to win, you needed a fake an injury to beat me in that, and now you don't even work here. So, what tapi Sorry, Clay.
Who's the real winner?
Not sorry. Who's the real winner? Yeah, sorry, not sorry, Clay.
But no, post-match, Ricky takes a moment to thank Clay for the last 10 years as they started their careers together. The fans actually do chant "Thank you, Clay," which is probably a first for them.
That's the first, I think, ever of all time, I think, is that.
Ricky offers a handshake, which Clay takes hesitantly. Clay says then that he has no one to thank other than himself, before berating the crowd and then blaming Ricky for this. And then Ricky leads a, typical na 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 na, that one of those things, which is joined by the crowd and the commentators. To which point I have to ask, I know he's not a fan favourite, I know he's not necessarily the best person, but at the end of the day, he's still a human, and he's lost his career. Not his career, but he lost his livelihood, his wage here. It feels, I don't know, it just feels a little weird.
It is weird. It's weird to celebrate somebody losing their job. I always hate seeing when people do that for the major companies, especially. Because, we as wrestlers, we work very, very hard to get anywhere. Doesn't matter if it's the smallest show running or WrestleMania. We work so hard to get to where we get to. And you're right. It is a little weird celebrating a firing of a competitor. But it is Clay Wilson. And even though he's a human, on top of being a human, he is a piece of trash. And very rude to everybody. Everybody he is rude to, so
absolutely.
I mean, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a nice change, I think.
Now, I mean,
going forward without that much negativity.
Yeah, very true. But saying that, now he's gone, that does leave a gap, I guess, in top tier talent.
I guess John Atlas is gonna have to figure something out there. Obviously, it was sort of a power struggle between Clay and Atlas there for a little bit there. ATO have really sort of come into their own as top tier. But yeah, I mean, is John Atlas gonna address Clay? Clay won't be there.
Yeah.
So like, where does that? Yeah. So I'm not sure what top tier talent will have to say about that.
And I know I know Barrie Wrestling have got a history. Like, we saw it with Asylum. He lost the lose towel match. He didn't come back until like 6 years later, and that's for an induction into the Hall of Fame. Is there a world in that Clay Wilson comes back to Barrie Wrestling? And if there is, what is the time frame on that return? Is it 6 years? Is that the set precedent for these sorts of things?
It's a good question. With Clay Wilson potentially returning, I mean, the only thing he's got to hope for is a change of attitude, first off. Because I don't think they would want to bring him back. But, I mean, we saw Asylum. He got inducted. But then Matt Burns had to win a match to really relinquish the ban. So, I mean, Clay Wilson, I mean, you could try to talk to Barrie management and see. But I don't expect to see him... well, first off, I don't expect to see him back. And then, furthermore, if I had to put a timeline on it, like, are we going to have to wait to induct Clay to the Hall of Fame for him to have to come out and have a match? I don't know if Clay deserves the Hall of Fame. It's interesting. I mean, I guess he's a candidate Cup winner. Like, I guess he does have some merit to it, but he's also a Fallout tournament winner. So, hey, he's a big tournament winner, that Clay Wilson is.
There you go.
Maybe he can win the tournament of guys that got fired from Barrie Wrestling, and then that's how he can come back. We'll have it outside of Barrie Wrestling. It'll be a tournament of Clay Wilson and whoever else, and we can they can fight for their spot back. Who knows? But I don't see him coming back anytime soon, personally. Like I said, unless he came back with an attitude adjustment, I don't know. I don't know.
So you think he'll come back with John Cena?
He could, and we wouldn't be any the wiser if he did. So.
But no. With that bombshell, with that revelation.
What a way to end.
What a way to end. And, you know, that does bring an end to this video. Brings an end to the show review. As always with the videos, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. We're approaching near 2,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous.
Whoa.
Like, we've had like this exponential rise, which we're not sure where any of it's come from. Like, the last time you were on the show, we were on less than 1,000 subs. I think we were like maybe 400, maybe. And we're approaching 2,000. So I don't.
You keep up the good work. That's all I gotta say. You guys are killing it. Killing it.
Thank you. But as well, of course, so all the YouTube stuff, our outlets are above us here. But more importantly, go follow the Van Landon on Instagram, on Twitter or X. Do you have any other outlets that you use?
Everything. Everything. If you're on it, search The Van Landon on it, and I'm there. TikTok, Twitch, X, Facebook, Instagram, Hive. Remember that one? All of them. That's all of them. I'm there. I'm on all of them.
But with that in mind, I've been Dan, this has been Van, and we're signing off. Good night.